Go ahead and start with the Ravens here, Matt. What do you got?
Let me pull up the old Ravens sheet. All right, the Ravens. They were 12-5 last year. They won the division. They lost in the divisional round to Buffalo. Mark Andrews, internal pit for you. Offensive EPA per play. They were .199. That was first. We went from the Browns, who were 32nd, to the Ravens, who were first. Their pass block win rate and run block win rate both third in the league. Their defensive EPA per play was negative .016, and it was not that for the whole season. I'll tell you that. Their pass rush win rate was somehow 33%, and they were 29th. They had a lot of like sack getters on this team, so that was interesting. The run stop win rate was 30%, and they were 22nd. So the trench stuff was not as premier as you would maybe think on the outside. Lamar Jackson had another MVP-esque season, .296 EPA per play, which was second behind only Allen, I believe, and 52.4% success rate, which was fourth in the league. We don't need to talk about how good Lamar Jackson is. We know how good he is. Ronnie Stanley, their left tackle, was a guy they kept in the offseason, 3 years, $60 million. They kept him right before free agency. He was going to be the premier left tackle. I wonder if he would have made more if like he hit the open market. What do you think Tennessee would have paid if they could have had him instead of Dan Moore? It would have been interesting. But I digress. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl. That's why. Rashad Bateman, 3 years, $36.75 million extension. He still had 2 years left on his deal. So he's under contract till 2030. Derrick Henry signed a 2-year contract, 2-year contract extension worth $15 million annually. He's under contract till 28 season. Pat Ricard came back. Fullbacks, they still exist. 1 year for $3 million. And then Ardarius Washington, who I think is currently nursing an injury. I don't think it's a season-long injury, but he is nursing an injury. He came back on that like RFA qualifying offer for like undrafted free agents. So he's on a 1-year, $3 million basic deal. Their free agency was pretty tame. DeAndre Hopkins, 1 year, $5 million. Jair Alexander, 1 year, $4 million. You know those names. Cooper Rush is their backup. 2 years, $6.2 million. And then Chidobe Awuzie, they did a ton of like 1 year little minimums. This was the one I wanted to highlight because he has had really good corner play in the last few years. He was just really, really down at Tennessee. He was really good with Cincinnati a few years ago. So again, there's something in the sprinkle saw like something in Baltimore that they get really good corner play out of these like older aging guys. Their draft, Malachi Starks was their first round draft pick at 27. Mike Green fell all the way to round 2, kind of to do with his stuff off the field. Emory Jones was picked in round 3, kind of a swing guard tackle hybrid out of LSU. And then they had 8 day 3 picks. I didn't want to highlight one of them. They just did it the Ravens way. They continued to just take shots in mostly the 4th round because they have so many compensatory picks due to free agents leaving. They took a ton. I assume one of them will be good because they always are. There's always someone. Their departures were not huge. Brandon Stevens, their outside boundary corner, they're going to replace that with Awuzie or Alexander. Pat McCary, their offensive guard, who's kind of played swing tackle for them and swing guard here and there. He goes to Jacksonville. And then Malik Harrison continues that pipeline of former Ravens linebackers going to the Steelers. So that was interesting to me. And then my season outlook question for this team: can the remade secondary continue on the trajectory it was on last season? Drop back EPA specifically. So this is just specific passing efficiency. From week 1 to week 10, they were .189, which was 30th. That is Panthers territory. That is how bad they were from week 1 to week 10 on, and it felt like it. From week 11 on, they made a switch to where Ardarius Washington came in at free safety instead of Marcus Williams, who they benched, and Kyle Hamilton kind of moved back to strong safety, kind of a rover thing. They then went on to be the best drop back EPA per play defense in the league. Negative .158, and it wasn't even close to number 2. Like, that's how good they were. They played in that stretch. You're probably saying, oh, they played bad teams. Pittsburgh twice, playoff team. Chargers, Eagles, two playoff teams, and then Giants, Texans, playoff team, and the Browns. That's who they played in that stretch, and they still were so dominant. We had that dominant Christmas game where CJ Stroud couldn't cross the 50, it felt like. We were all snoozing by halftime. And then in the divisional round against Buffalo, they were negative .005. So if that was over the course of a whole season, it would be seventh. So they were continuing on this trajectory, but now they've remade the secondary in such a weird way. They're going to have a new boundary corner. They're going to have a new free safety in Starks, likely. So, again, can they continue on this trajectory? Can the talent overweigh what they were last year? Because if they were 15th in weeks 1 through 10, they could have been the 1 seed again. So, it's interesting.
That was exactly where like my
Mm-hmm.
broader outlook question was on them too. That's why I was so excited and said yes when you asked it. And mine was obviously a bit more broad than what yours was, but it was, can Zach Orr and this defense build off of what that last 6 to 7 weeks of the season were for them? Because again, as you said, they were the best defense when they were able to make that switch and allowed Kyle Hamilton to kind of roam around the field a little bit more. And if that secondary can improve and kind of build off of what they were last year, and then you drop in a Mike Green into that defensive line as well, and hopefully improve a little bit more of the production on that defensive line, then you're really cooking with fire. And then, maybe in a year's time, we're talking about Zach Orr even as a head coach somewhere. So
yeah. I'm excited about this team. Let's get into it. So let's see. We'll just do 2 rows at a time. How about that? Does that sound cool? I'll try not to mess it up, I promise.
Yeah.
So I have them beating the Bills, beating the Browns, beating the Lions, losing to the Chiefs, losing to the Texans, beating the Rams. 4-2.
I have them losing to the Bills and then all the way up into that week 7 bye, winning every game, including beating the Browns, the Lions, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Rams.
Yeah, I have them winning those first 6 games. Again, I think the pivotal game within that, the 2 pivotal games, obviously within that stretch, are your Bills and Chiefs. Actually, I lied. I have them losing to the Rams before the bye week. I lied. I'm sorry.
Tough,
So I have
yeah.
them starting off 5-1, and again, I'm not going to do it because we'll go game by game for this Ravens. But I could really make this Ravens schedule as easy as I made the Browns on the flip side of that. But yeah, I have them starting 5-1 going into that bye week.
Should we? Should we make it as easy?
No.
All right. They're going to beat the Bears, beat the Dolphins, beat the Vikings, beat the Browns, beat the Jets.
I have them. What does that put them at? Do you have them losing yet?
Yeah, I had them losing
Oh,
against
you
the
had 2
Chiefs
losses. You
and
had
the
2
Texans.
losses. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
was
No, you're
blending
good.
yours and Ben's together. I have them beating the Bears, beating the Dolphins, and then a long bye. I have them losing to the Vikings, beating the Browns, and then beating the Jets, putting them with 2 losses. Yeah, 2 losses.
Yeah, 9-2 for both of me and Matt. Ben?
Yes, I have them winning all 5 of these next games against the Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, and Jets. That Vikings game was kind of the hard one in there. That game I think is going to be a lot of fun to sit down and watch. But yeah, I have them winning these next 5 games.
It's Flores versus Lamar, baby.
Exactly. But yeah, I have them 10-1 through the first 12 weeks.
And then to finish my schedule off, I have them beating the Bengals, beating the Steelers, losing to the Bengals, beating the Patriots, beating the Packers, beating the Steelers to finish 14-3. The exact opposite of the Browns.
I have them losing the Thursday night matchup on Thanksgiving night to the Bengals. I have them beating the Steelers. I then have them beating the Cincinnati Bengals in a rematch, beating the Patriots, and then losing the last 2 against the Packers and the Steelers. It's always a weird Steelers game for them, so I just threw it in there.
Yeah.
And we'll
What's your
that will be important later when we.
What's the end result there?
12-5, same as last year. Kind of just pace themselves to the finish line. Again, it's another just like, can we get in the dance because we have maybe the best player on the planet. Like, can we continue to get in the dance and figure it out? We'll get it one of these years.
Yeah, yeah. I have them winning those first 2 games against the Bengals and Steelers. Then I have them losing that rematch against the Bengals. And then I have them beating the Patriots and Packers as well. And at this point, going into week 17, it won't matter because they would have lost only 2 games on the season. They're going to sit their starters. I know it's not like the fun that everyone wanted because it's in division, never how it goes. But I do have them losing against the Steelers because all of the starters will be sitting at this point. But I have them going 14-3 as the clear best team in the NFL. That is the best record that I have said and will say. That I don't think that's a shocker to anyone. And again, it comes down to, can this offense continue to produce, and can this defense build off of, like I said, in that opening for the Ravens, off of how they ended last year. And I really do think they can. And again, we're going to leave this saying, well, wow, that was one of the most dominant runs we've ever seen in the regular season from a team.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This is a
talent
fun
to do
one. Oh, for sure.
No excuses. I mean, that's what we said when they signed the the Jair thing. Now they have no excuse. Like you said, they have arguably the best player on the planet. The defense is alive. I mean, the only thing that you can question is the wide receivers and kind of what they have there.
That's my take.
But just run out 12 personnel. Just run out a 12 personnel set and just have Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews on the field always at the same time.
Likely, what's the status on him? Because he'd had an injury at camp. Is that going to be something that lingers into the regular season, or I think that's a question that still has to be answered, right?
They're saying he's going to be, like, it's still on the table for week 1. I think it's just a way to bubble wrap him now, figure it out. I think, fractures in your foot, it's not fun to deal with, I imagine. But, and he was really close to an extension, was the rumor mill. But I have a take on this team. Rashad Bateman gets 1,000 yards this year.
Oh!
The Bateman heads are up. All right, this is going to be classic Ravens. All right, they're going to get this extension done, and then he's just going to pop off, and everyone's going to go, oh, like the agent Bateman himself is, oh damn, man, we could have hit an open market, and he's just going to be too good. He's just going to be too good. Like, I'm looking at last year's stats. He's right there, man. We're going into year 5. 756 yards last year. He had so many splash plays, 9 touchdowns. We break the 1,000 yards this year.
That's fun.
Ben, do you have it?
I think my 14-3 for them is probably enough.
Your hottest,
yeah. Again, is probably
they're minus money to win the division again. By the way,
which doesn't surprise me at all. I think we leave this season again with Zach Orr as kind of that top coaching candidate that everyone wants to go out and sign, and it's just a matter of, like, I wouldn't rule it out even if he's that top coaching candidate, kind of pulling a Ben Johnson saying, nah, I'm staying here, because the guys in that building absolutely love him and he absolutely loves the Ravens. They're just gonna be good. That's my take.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my take for a couple more weeks. You guys know what's up. Yeah. Season outlook. We'll have an episode about it.